Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? It's time for the Loop Lab walkthrough. All right, for the first U code, you're tasked with rewriting this loop up here to count not from 1 to 3, but from 10 to 15. The secret here is using the range function. So let's just try the range function, see if we can get the range function right, then we can rewrite the program. Let's try range 10, 15. All right, and we just get back a range. So if we want to see that range, we got a for loop over it. For I in range 10, 15, print I. All right, that goes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the way range works is the upper bound is not included in the range. So in this case, I want to go to 16 so that I go from 10 to 15. Now I want to make the rest of the code look like the above. So let's use an F string. Let's print I, and then print Mississippi. And then after the loop's over, let's just print Blitz. And there you have it. There's 1, 1, counting from 10 to 15. Again, the secret is just understanding how range works. That's what we wanted to do here. All right, let's explore 1.2. In 1.2, you're tasked with debugging an indefinite loop. And as you saw in the programs above, indefinite loops are while loops. And inside the loop, we have a condition that causes a loop to stop. But we're never sure that the loop will ever stop. That's what makes it an indefinite loop. A for loop stops, always. A while loop is at the whims of a madman, because unless I put in Mike, the loop never stops. It will go on forever, and I can do this for a very long time because I'm a patient man. Come back a month from now, I'm still doing this. That's what makes it an indefinite loop. It will only terminate when I put in what's called the sentinel value, the value that it detects that causes a loop to stop or break. So you can either break the loop with an if and the break statement, or you can break the loop by putting in a Boolean expression in the while. I prefer to use this syntax because I can control exactly when I want the loop to stop. So now that being said, let's take a look at 1.2. So in 1.2, we are going to input what say you, and then every time you say knee, we want to count the knee. If you say anything else, we don't want to count that. And as soon as you say anything but knee, we want to stop looping. So I typed in knee, I typed in knee, I typed in knee, I typed in anything else but knee, and now the loop stops and it says, you said knee 3 times. So if I run this loop and don't say knee, it's just going to say you said knee 0 times. Okay. So let's take a look at the code that we have, and then we'll debug it. Turn the line numbers on. So first thing I'm doing is I'm storing the number of knees that I'm counting in a variable, and I start that at 0. I have to initialize that variable. Then I'm going to loop, and I'm going to, input. This is a classic Sentinel controlled loop. I'm going to input something, and then if you say knee, I stop looping, and then I count the number of knees, and then I print the number of knees. Okay, so I see a couple things that are immediately wrong, but I'm going to run it and see what kind of errors I get. So I have a syntax error on line 4. Okay, I see this red. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on here. I need parentheses, like that. All right. What say you? Now, if I say knee, it should count 1 knee and continue looping. Okay, but it doesn't count 1 knee. It stops immediately. So that usually tells me when this happens, when it doesn't do what you expect, right? right? It should say, what say you again? And it didn't. That's usually an exit condition problem. So the exit condition says, if you say knee, if say equals knee, stop looping. What I want is if you say anything but knee, it stops looping. Let me see what happens when I say something that isn't knee. Okay, it loops. So I actually have the opposite. I have the opposite exit condition here. What I want is not equals. Do you see that? I want to keep looping, provided you do not say knee. All right, let's try it now. So knee, knee, knee. I said it 3 times. Now I'm going to say nay, just like the example. And it says, you said knee P1 times. Okay, I see there's a P here. I want to take that P out. I don't want that in there. But why is it only 1 time? Well, that where are we setting knee count to 1? Right here on line 7. What we need to be doing is accumulating or adding 1 to knee count every time, not just setting knee count to 1. We need to be saying something along the lines like knee count equals knee count plus 1. Okay, what this is called an increment, and increments are very common in loops. It's how we keep track of the number of times that a loop is doing its looping, is we add an increment in there. So I think this might be right now. Let me see. Knee, 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 nay. I said knee 3 times, right? You said knee 3 times. Where does this 3 come from? Well, every time I loop, line 7 is taking whatever the knee count is, 1, adding 1 to it, and then storing that back into the same variable knee count. So 0 plus 1 is 1. The next time through with the next knee, it's 1 plus 1 is 2. That's 2 knees. Then the third time through, it's 2 plus 1 is 3. That's 3 knee count. Then the fourth time through, I don't say knee, I say nay. And so I said knee 3 times. That's basically how that works. All right, now we get down here into 1.4. So 1.4 has us inputting text. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Had us inputting text. And then it loops over the text, counting each value that you're searching for in the text. So for example, if I type in Mississippi, and I say I'm searching for I's, it says, are you an I? No. Are you an I? Yes, so I'll count you. Are you an I? No. Are you an I? No. Are you an I? Yes. So I'll count you. There's 2 I's. And then it goes on and on till the end. And there's always going to be an end, so we could use a for loop. And it will tell us how many I's it found. So here's another run. So this is run number 1. This is run number 2. All right. So I gave you an algorithm on this one, and it's up to us to convert the algorithm into code. So let's go through that. This is good practice. So how do we set a variable called count to 0? We could just do this, right? Count 0. Okay, then we want to input this text here, like that. So text, input, enter, text, or type quit. Let's do quit like this. Input the search character. Okay, for character in text. So you might be saying, well, what is character? Right? What is character? This is what confuses people about the for loop, by the way. So let me show you this. If I come down here and say for ch in Mike, that's some text, right? I'm just being literal. Mike. And let's print ch. What it's doing is it's going to iterate over each character in, each character in Mike. CH is arbitrary. It just refers to one of the things in the iteration. So I could call this, I don't know, booger. Doesn't matter what you call it. Generally, you want this to be the singular of this. So if this over here is a collection of students, then this would be student. It makes your code easier to read. So maybe I have a list of students like this. Bob, Fred, Steve. And that's my list of students, right? So I can say for student in my list of students, print each student. I guess to be more explicit, I would say students. And then let's make the students that list. Like that. Okay. All right? So what you decide to call this depends on what this is. All right. So let's go back to the example. Whatever we type in the text is going to be like, Mississippi or Mike or whatever. So what is one thing in that list of text? It's a character. That's why we call it CH. I could have called it character, but you don't want to see me type. It's ugly. So if the character equals the search character, then we want to increment the count. Count equals count plus 1. And then when the whole thing is done, we want to print there are count search in text. Let's see what this looks like. Let's put in Mike. I. There is one I in Mike. Okay, let's run it again. Let's do, this is a test. This is only a test. And let's look for, what I want to search for is this. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, you know why? I can only search for one character. That's why. Okay. This is a test. This is only a test. And I got to search for characters. Let's search for a T. There are 6 T's. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's 1.3. All right, this takes us to 1.4, which is a riff on the previous example. But don't copy and paste your code. Rewrite your code. Again, you're learning, and the best way to learn is to get your hands on the keyboard and write some code. So I encourage you to not take this and try to adapt it to this, but just rewrite this. So how do we loop? Okay, the first thing here says loop. So we loop by doing a while true. That just loops. All right, let's set the count to 0. Input the text. Text. And what did I say before? I said enter text to enter text. Or press enter to quit. If text is empty, quit loop. So if text is empty, how do I quit the loop? Break. Why don't I say break up here in my algorithm? Because break is a Python thing. And other languages don't use break to quit loops. They use other commands. So when you write an algorithm, it's a series of steps that could be written in any programming language, not just Python. Okay? So you just want to express it in plain old English. So let's input the search character. I'm going to actually make this sophisticated. I'm going to say enter character. Check this out. Enter character to find in text. Well, I'm really fancy. Now, why is this search here and not here? If I put the search here, it only happens when the text is empty, which is not what I want, right? I want to input the character regardless of if the text is empty or not. For character in text, this is kind of the same as what we did before. If character equals the search character, we are going to increment count. And then way back here, we're going to print there are count search in text. Okay, let's see what we got here. Enter text or press enter to quit. Let's put in skiing. And let's search for, see what I did? Enter character to find in skiing. Oh, see how cool I am? I bet you didn't know you could put an F string in the input. You can put an F string wherever you want. Anywhere there's a string, you can use an F string. That's what's awesome about it. All right, enough of that. Enter character to find in skiing. Let's find the I. There are 2 I's in skiing. Enter text or press enter to quit. Let's put in a big number like 1, 2, 3, comma 400 119, and let's count how many commas there are. There are 3 commas in that. Cool. Okay, and let's press enter, and it quits. Yay! Now, if we want something to show up or do something after the quit, that has to be even with the while. That has to be right down here, because this code all runs in the loop. This code here runs outside the loop. So I could say print goodbye. Or I would do something else, but in this case I'm just going to say goodbye. And then when I, press enter, it says goodbye, because everything inside that loop didn't happen. Okay? That's 1-4. And that's it for our lab walkthrough. Thank you for watching. Goodbye now.